Hey travelers, I'm gonna do what I usually do because that's how my brain operates now. I'm gonna try to communicate with you, and I'm gonna sponge your brain. I want to go into the waters of your mind, and I want to kick up all the stagnant dust, all the stagnant sand at the bottom under the waters. What happens after that? That's up to you. Where the sand grains rest again, that's up to you. I did a video in the past called Critique of Enlightenment, and I believe in that video I mentioned the illusion of separation. Now, this illusion of separation whether this causes and creates something called social mind, or whether social mind creates this illusion of separation, I don't know. I'm not concerned. To me, it's irrelevant. It's a chicken and an egg play. A sculptor does not add to the block. A sculptor chisels away everything that's unnecessary. I learned that from reading through Bruce Lee's library. Bruce was a Taoist. I'm a Taoist. I assume this is where he learned that analogy. The Buddhists, Hindus, they would all call this the illusion. And Taoists want to move away from social mind. What is social mind? Social mind is politics. Social mind is your workplace. Social mind is anywhere you go where you need to act appropriately, which means you cannot act authentically. You play a role, and in modern terms, with gaming and all these things, what social mind really is, no matter where you live, what culture you're from, what religion you believe, how you were raised, none of that matters. It's an open world role-playing game. It's the illusion of separation, that you can be you at home if you're surrounded by people or around people that allow you to be yourself. You can be authentic, but when you go to your job, you have a role to fulfill. Or when you vote for your favorite team, red or blue. No one cares about you. You're playing a role. You're no longer thinking, how do I feel about this? What do I think about this? You're letting other people decide that for you. You're not being you. You're not being authentic. And my way, personally, my way is authenticity. And when you play a role, you're no longer writing your authentic signature on this time and space. You're signing someone else's name. Or like the silliness of voting, you're signing your name beside someone else to tell you or do for you. I was born upside down, turned around with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. I was an emergency C-section. Life to me is a gift. Every day to me is a gift. Now, whether it was God showing mercy, whether it was a guardian angel, whether it was the spirit of my deceased father, whether it was karma from past lives, I don't know. I don't care. It's not relevant. Every day is a gift from somewhere along the way. And I know my upbringing and programming, I know that influenced it, but somewhere along the way, because I was born perfectly me. I was born my authentic self with my authentic signature into this time and space. And somewhere along the way, I got caught up in the role-playing game. And it's one thing to go do a job or play a role and be self-aware enough to know, hey, look, man, I'm not this uniform, or hey, I'm not what society has created me to be. I'm not, you know, it's one thing, and you go there and you do your job so that you can pay your bills and take care of your family. You know, that's one thing. It's another when you believe the role. You drink your own Kool-Aid and you say, yeah, I'm a war hero, or yeah, I'm an enforcer of the law, or yeah, I'm a wolf of Wall Street. I'm a giant in DC, or, you know, when you drink your Kool-Aid and you identify you with that role and you believe that role, that's when you're losing your way. You've lost your way. You're no longer your authentic self. You're being what society has made you, what society has asked of you. You're playing the social mind. You're believing that this open world role-playing game is reality, and you're believing that you are this character that you have spent years building and created. The Buddhists say, they have a term called untangling the knots, and this is what they mean. The same way as you don't add to, a sculptor doesn't add to a block, it chisels away what's unnecessary. When you untangle knots, the implication is that you've become entangled. Now you're knotted up. And you have to take the time to go back the time and the effort to untangle those knots, to free yourself. You know, Jesus said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. There's an implication there that you have to first love yourself before you're capable of loving your neighbor or loving anyone else. You have to first love yourself. And that implication goes along with the Greek philosophy. I believe it was Plato or Socrates. I always confuse those two. I'm not as sharp as I used to be, but I believe it was Plato that said, know thyself, know yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to be able to be self-aware and to untangle from what your parents told you you should be, or what you should do, or what the government told you this is your role and this is who you are, or whether your job at the restaurant told you this is your role, this is how you perform, this is your behavior. You have to be able to separate those things from who you truly are, your authentic self. And I think this is important because in America, we live in an unhealthy society. The social mind is not healthy. And rather than realizing you're playing a role-playing game, people have been brainwashed to exalt and brag about their roles rather than appreciate who they are, their authentic signature. And America, because of this propaganda, this very long psychological operation, this brainwashing, America has become very unhealthy. A man should do this, a man should act that way. Oh, you're not on my team if you think that. You're not on my team. You're not welcome here if you don't behave in this way. Like, America has become so unhealthy that they exalt this illusion that you are this character. And if you can't suppress who you are and play this role, then you're weak, or there's something wrong with you. You need to get help. The inmates are truly running the asylum here. And I'm sure people from other countries, other cultures, to some degree, not only can they understand my words, I know that, but to some degree they can probably relate. Even if it's you just hating the job that you have to work to pay bills, I'm sure all humans can to some degree relate. Oh, well, I better act this way when I go around mom and dad. You know, hey, don't you smoke around my parents, or, you know, whatever. Like, to some degree, we can relate that there's an expectation from social mind to suppress your authenticity, to play a role. And to some degree, you can't escape this. This is why a lot of Taoists go into the woods for peace. This is why a lot of temple Taoists and Buddhists, they go to monasteries in the mountains to get away from society. But you really can't get away from it completely, because even those people have to go into society for something at some point, and there's expectations there, which is why most of them minimize that. I would like to end with just emphasizing that every day of life truly is a gift. I want to enjoy every day of my life. I don't want to be what I was created to be. I want to appreciate who I was born to be, which is me, in this time, in this space. I want to enjoy good food. I want to appreciate the generous touch of a woman. I want to spend my days with my dogs and love them and receive their love. I want to spend time with my mother and my stepdad. They're good people. And when I got out of the military, they were there for me when no one else was, when I really needed it. And I want to enjoy them. Every day is a gift. And the greatest thing you could ever be is you. Because no matter how much money you make, no matter how much property you own, no matter how many people you've slept with, no matter how famous you are on the internet, none of these things are truly of value. They're transient. But to enjoy every day and have the freedom to be yourself and the opportunity to even know yourself, to untangle those knots and get to fall in love with who you really are. That's what this whole game's about. Thank you for your time, travelers. And as long as life keeps giving me the opportunity to enjoy another day, then I'll catch you next time, travelers.